Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea news, Chelsea transfer news, Chelsea everything. This is an incredible story. We absolutely had to make a video and talk about this because this news is significant. Ladies and gentlemen, our golden boy, Dastan Satpayev, who plays for the Kazakhstan, or is it Uzbekistan? Sorry, I think it's Kazakhstan. I could be wrong. They're so. I'm going to get so done, aren't I? Because people are going to be very, very upset. Team from Kazakhstan. There you go, Kazakhstan. Our kid from Kazakhstan, the team he represents, Kairat Almaty, they've qualified for the Champions League. Dastan Satpayev, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be participating in this season's Champions League group stages, or league stages. It's absolutely mind-blowing, this news, ladies and gentlemen, and I can't wait. I seriously cannot wait to see this player play in this Champions League competition. I mean, literally a month ago, we were following Kairat Almaty's progression in this qualification, and they've had to play, I think, 4 matches to get to finally qualifying for the Champions League. Like, they've come from the bottom of the pit. Do you know what I mean? They've absolutely come from the bottom of the barrel, and they've qualified for the Champions League. And this player, ladies and gentlemen, Dastan Satpayev, he's played a huge role in the progression of his team's qualification in the Champions League. And if you see some of the goals that he's scored, not just in the qualifiers, but overall in the Kazakhstan league, and I get it, it is Kazakhstan league, but just individually have a look at his technique, have a look at his quality. There's a serious player in this kid. There is a serious level of player. Some people out there are already comparing, and I know some of these comparisons, like, obviously we need to hype it down, but they're saying his technical ability, his movement, the way he wriggles away from defenders, his pace, his shooting technique, his vision, his creativity. They're saying this is sort of like Luis Suarez-esque. Ladies and gentlemen, this is incredible. I mean, big up to Kairat Almaty, big up to your fan base, big up to all the fans that represent Kairat and the Kazakhstan league in itself. Huge congratulations to you guys. Official, Kairat Almaty have qualified for the league phase of the 2025-26 UEFA Champions League for the first time in their history. What a moment for the team from Kazakhstan. Huge step for them. Huge. Ladies and gentlemen, they've beaten Celtic to get here in the penalties. This is incredible. And prior to that, I think they beat Slavia Prague or Slovan something. And that's a Champions League team as well. This is unbelievable. This is what Dastan Satpayev had to say literally a few days ago. Check this out. Why Chelsea? Is it the best option for you? He was getting interviewed, obviously. Satpayev, honestly, I'm not sure if it's the best option, but I think Chelsea knows how to work with the young players. The club really invests in them. Even if it comes to a loan, they can find a good club for me. Of course, I'll try to establish myself in the first team at Chelsea and become a leader there. I mean, look at the way this kid's talking. He wants to be a leader at Chelsea Football Club. And he's honest. He's like, look, I don't know whether Chelsea is the best, but what I do know is players go there and things are happening to the players, whether it's a loan, whether they get moved on elsewhere, whether they make it at Chelsea Football Club, things are happening. And he appreciates that. And he wants to do his best to make it at Chelsea and become a leader. For this kid to talk like this, he's 17. He will be a Chelsea player next season once he becomes 18. But it'll be fantastic to watch him in the Champions League. Champions League. He's going to have Champions League football experience under his belt before he comes to Chelsea Football Club. This player is probably already going to be worth, I think Chelsea bought this kid for about £1 million, something like that, or maybe £4 million. It was a Kazakhstan record fee, something around £4 million. He's probably, after this Champions League campaign that he's going to have, is going to be worth bare minimum 20 million. Bare minimum. And this is how Chelsea are now looking to make money. And not just money. This kid could turn out to be a serious baller. Absolutely serious baller. I can't, honestly, here we go. Here we go. Kairat Almaty watch-alongs on this channel, guaranteed for the Champions League matches, as long as it doesn't clash with the Chelsea ones. We're going to have to watch them. We're going to have to. They're in the Champions League. I'm just blown out of my mind, honestly. Coach Uraz Bakhtin said that Dastan Satpayev was so upset about his yellow card versus Celtic that he barely spoke to anyone for 2 days. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need to clarify something with you. Dastan Satpayev didn't play against Celtic yesterday because he was suspended. He picked up a yellow card the match before the first leg, basically against Celtic, which was 0-0. To keep Celtic to 0-0 at their home ground, at Celtic's home ground, incredible. Absolutely incredible. So he picked up a yellow card, got himself suspended, so he couldn't face Celtic at their home, at Kazakhstan, at Kairat Almaty's home ground. So he was devastated. Dastan Satpayev was devastated. Didn't speak to anyone for 2 days. This is what it means to him to qualify for the Champions League and also representing his club. He was very upset in the dressing room too, but he understands we are supporting him and believe he'll grow stronger from this experience. Incredible. You know what? This kid, he's 17, but he's built, man. He's built like a freaking tank. And he moves quick. So, you know, he's fast player. Like I'm loving his attributes. Whoever scouted him from Chelsea Football Club, salute to you. Honestly, massive salute to you. Dastan Satpayev, 16, he's not even 17 yet, is the hero of Kairat. A late penalty. So this is how it all transpired in the qualifications. A late penalty kick for the first leg, lead over Slovan Bratislava. Slovan Bratislava, that's the one that Kairat Almaty played prior to Celtic, and they're a Champions League team, Slovan Bratislava. A 16-year-old taking a penalty in the UCL qualifiers, and I believe that was the winning penalty kick as well. 3 goals, 1 assist in 5 Champions League qualifiers so far. That's good. That's good. Big moments. 3 goals, 1 assist. 5 Champions League qualifiers. They had to play 5 different clubs to get to where they are. We cannot take this feat away from them, man. Honestly, incredible. Dastan Satpayev, 16, played a key role in a UCL qualifying comeback for Kairat Almaty. This is when I started noticing, and I started talking about it on this channel, when Kairat Almaty versed against 𝐎𝐿. Down 2-0 after the first leg, Satpayev scored a goal and assisted the eventual match winner for the 3-2 win on aggregate. They came back from being 2-0 down after the first leg to win a 3-2 in aggregate. 16 years old. Incredible. Man, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see what level of teams Kairat Almaty come up against. I think when the draw happens, obviously one eye on Chelsea, but also another eye on Kairat Almaty, just to see how, who Dastan Satpayev ends up playing in the Champions League. I think it's going to be quite sensational. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about Dastan Satpayev. This kid, don't forget the name. Absolutely don't forget the name. Now, another name, another player that is of an interest to us, Marc Guiu, is on loan to Sunderland. Finally got his first start in the Carabao Cup. Sad news is Sunderland have been what do you call it? Not disqualified. What's the word that I'm looking for? I hate when I'm trying to think for a word and I can't remember. Not relegated. They've been eliminated. That's the word. That's the word. Marc Guiu. He scored the equalizer. So I think they were playing Huddersfield and they were losing 1-0. And then Marc Guiu, lovely headed finish, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen the goal, do make sure you check it out. It's all over social media. Nice cross came in. Guiu leaped up and lovely headed goal. To be honest, it was a very, very good headed goal. Good technique shown on that header. And prior to that, there were some other clips as well where He beat a defender, took a shot, but it was straight, not really straight to the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper really did a good job to save. I think I'd love to see Marc Guiu get more opportunities. I know it's early days. He's just, went there and the season just started. Would love to see him get regular starts in the Premier League. I think he could be a very good player for them. And took them to 1-1. Equalized against Huddersfield. Took them to the extra time, and then unluckily enough, they got eliminated in the penalties. But big up to Marc Guiu to get his first goal for Sunderland and getting his season off to a nice start. This is his stats, ladies and gentlemen. Marc Guiu, 19 tonight for Sunderland. He's 19 years old. There's also lots of room for improvement and growing. 90 minutes played, 1 goal, 89% accurate passes, 2 out of 4 shot accuracy, 3 out of 5 successful dribbles, 1 recovery, 3 ground duels, 1, 3 aerial duels, 1, which is nice. Look, good stats, man. These are overall very, very good stats, and very, very happy with his return. Return from this game. The goal will go a long way, and hopefully, as I said, he finally gets a start for Sunderland in the Premier League. And I think, again, we need to be watching Sunderland as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on Marc Guiu's goal. If you've watched it, put it down in the comment below what you thought about that. I think, again, once more time, another player that we need to focus on. We've got Dastan Satpayev, who plays like a striker, can, I think, definitely play as a second striker, can definitely play out wide as well. I think predominantly he plays out wide for Kairat Almaty. Whether it's on the left side, whether it's on the right side, he plays on the wide, but he can definitely play striker, second striker. So anywhere up front, I think the future for Chelsea Football Club with Dastan Satpayev and Marc Guiu as well is looking good. Don't forget, quite a lot of other players that'll be joining next summer once this season is finished. Quenda is coming as well. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, some sad news. I love this player. Look, it would have been a cheeky purchase for Strasbourg, and then eventually he was destined to come to Chelsea Football Club, but not to be, ladies and gentlemen. Julio Enciso's transfer is over. It fell through. The player must now return to Brighton. Now, I don't know if we will go back to Enciso down the track once he is recovered. The reason it fell through is because of this. Extra tests are taking place for Julio Enciso after he suffered a serious injury months ago. It's a key step ahead of move from Brighton to Strasbourg, Chelsea. And then obviously we were confirmed Julio Enciso failed his Strasbourg medical and will return to Brighton. So sad news there. It hasn't worked out. I remember he had an injury late last season when he was at Ipswich. And I was like, so when we all saw the news come from David Ornstein, I wasn't like, throwing a party or anything like that. But I thought, what, cheeky purchase. I like Julio Enciso from what I've seen of him in Brighton and in Ipswich. Yes, he hasn't fulfilled his potential, but he's still young. He can still do that. But I knew he's got some injury problems, and now it's all come to fruition. And he's failed his medical, and on the basis of that, his move to Strasbourg and an eventual move to Chelsea has fallen through. So we'll see whether we go back for Julio Enciso down the track or not. Right now, he's a Brighton player. Now, last but not least, very, very importante news from Italy, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to Tyrique George. AS Roma had positive talks with Tyrique George's camp in London today. This was very late UK time, so this is latest in regards to Tyrique George. George can join AS Roma on permanent deal with heavy sell-on clause. Talks are underway. Exclusive story confirmed. So it looks like we're going to sell Tyrique George. Pure profit. And also we need to balance the books in this summer transfer window. We cannot be over. This is one of the, stipulations that we got to meet in regards to UEFA's rules and regulation, FFP, basically UEFA, FFP, PSR. Not the Premier League one, but the UEFA one that we need to meet. And one of the stipulation is whatever business we do in this summer window, it's all got to net out. The highest level of loss we can incur, pretty much loss we can incur after all the transfers ins and outs are done, is I think about 20 million. Anything above that, we're going to be in trouble. But I think Chelsea Football Club trying to ensure that we are in the positive so that there is no issues at all. And this is another reason, like the fact that we are unable to get rid of Nkunku and Jackson as yet, and we're doing our level best to get Garnacho, which means Tyrique George becomes surplus to requirement. Sad, but look, at least there's a heavy sell-on clause down the track for him. And I don't know whether there might be a buyback clause as well. I still think there's a big player that can potentially come out of Tyrique George. But no, everyone's going to make it at Chelsea. I wish him all the best at Roma if he does end up going there. Looks like it might happen, and there'll be heavy sell-on clause involved. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the latest that I couldn't cover yesterday. All of this news fell right at the end UK time, and yeah, there's just so much news circulating. This had to be a separate video. All of this news, especially in regards to Dastan Satpayev, I think that's just an incredible story. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.